Good morning, students. Today we are taking our second chapter of economics, people as resource. Students, in our previous chapter, we know about the factors of the production. First, land, second, labor, third, physical capital, and fourth, human resource. Students, in all factors, human resource is the best resource. Okay? Now I am telling you the word people and the resource means. The word people refers to population, Indian population as a whole. The word resource refers to anything which can be transformed, changed into benefit. Students, Indian population are huge, and due to huge population we are facing some problems like poverty, unemployment and exploitation. It is a big task that how we can change Indian population from liability to asset. Students, now I am telling you about the word investment. Investment means an act of investing your time, investing your money, putting your efforts into something. Just you people, you are working hard, putting your efforts and giving your time at studies to score good marks in future. Students, your father invests money on your education, and so that you people in future give the good asset. Students, by earning good money, you will give the society, community and then to your nation's economy. So, now how can we convert Indian population into asset? By education, by medical care and by training. I am giving you one example of one person of factory preparing 5 shirts daily. After training and skills, now he is able to make 10 shirts. Now he earns profit of 5 shirts. Student, you know that if this person is not educated and not medically fit, then how it is possible to prepare of 10 shirts daily? Yes, students, I am giving you example of Japan, that how Japan is a small country but it is developed and rich. Students, Japan government investing capital on education and medical care so that it is very advanced and developed. People of Japan are very educated and blessed with good medical care. So they are giving their 100% in economic of their country. Now students, I am telling you by the good investment on education, medical care and training, we can get the good quality of population and we change from liability to an asset. Yes students, now I am giving you the example of the story of Sakal and Vilas. Students, there were two friends, Vilas and the Sakal, living in the same village, Simapur. Sakal was a 12 years old boy. His mother Sheila looked after domestic chores. His father Bhuta Chaudhary worked in an agriculture field. Sakal helped his mother in domestic chores. He also looked after his younger brother Jitu and sister Situ. His uncle Sham had passed 10th class but was sitting idle in the house as he had no job. Bhuta and Sheila were eager to teach Sakal. They forced him to join the village school, which is soon he joined. He started studying and completed his higher secondary examination. His father persuaded him to continue his studies. He raised a loan for Sakal to study a vocational training in computers. Sakal was meritorious and interested in studies. From the beginning, he completed his course. After some time, he got a job in a private firm. He even designed a new kind of software. This software helped him increase the sale of the firm. His boss acknowledged his service and rewarded him with a promotion. Now students, I am telling you about the story of Vilas. Vilas was an 11-year-old boy residing in the same village as Sakal. Vilas' father Mahesh was a fisherman. His father passed away when he was only 2 years old. His mother Geeta sold fish to earn money to feed the family. She bought fish from the landowner's pond and sold it in the nearby mandi. She could earn only rupees 150 a day by selling fish. Vilas became a patient of arthritis. His mother could not afford to take him to the doctor. He could now go to school either. He was not interested in studies. He helped his mother in cooking and also looked after his younger brother, Mohan. After some time, his mother fell sick and there was no one to look after her. There was no one in the family to support them. Vilas too was forced to sell fish in the same village. He, like his mother, earned only a small income. Now students, the differences between two friends. First, Shakal went to school and Vilas did not go. Shakal was physically fit and healthy. Vilas was patient of an arthritis. Sakal found a job in a private firm while Vilas continued with the same work as his mother. He earned a small income like his mother to support a family. Fourth point, in the case of Sakal, several years of education added to the quality of labor. This enhanced his total productivity. It adds to the growth of the economy. In case of Vilas, he spends his life selling fish like his mother. Henceforth, he draws the same salary of unskilled laborer as his mother. Students, now our topic is economic activities for men and women. Students, like Sakal and Vilas, people are engaged in different type of economic activities. The various economic activities are classified into 3 sectors: primary, secondary and tertiary. Primary sector includes agriculture, forestry, poultry farming, dairy farming and mining. Secondary sector includes manufacturing and tertiary sector includes banking, trade, transport, communication, health and education. Students, primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector further are divided into 2 main portions. First, market activities and non-market activities. Economic activities have 2 parts, market and non-market activities. Students, market activities involve remuneration to anyone who perform activity for pay or profit. Non-market activities are production for self-consumption. Students, these activities add value to the national income. These activities are called economic activities. Students, now we are taking the differences between market and economic activities to non-market and non-economic activities. Our first difference on the basis of definition. These activities contribute to the flow of goods and services in an economy, but non-market activities, these are not contribute to the flow of goods and services. Students, the second main difference, scope. Market activities, they are included in the national income, but students, non-market activities are not included in the national income. Third point is significant. Market activities, increase in economic activities is an indication of economic progress of a country. But non-market activities, increase in unproductive activities, it is not an indication of the economic progress of a country. Fourth point is effect. Market activities, these led to an increase in both the personal income as well as national income. But non-market activities, These cause only a transfer of income from one person to another. These result in an increase in personal income only. Students, I am giving you now example. Market activities like ploughing of a field and non-market activities if a teacher teaching his son at home. Now students, we are taking that women are paid for their work when they enter the labor market. Their earning like that of their male counterpart is determined on the basis of education and skill. Education helps individual to make better use of economic opportunities available before him. Students, education and skill both are the major determinants of the earning of any individual in the market. A majority of the women have mixed education and low skill formation make remains small. Most women work where job security is not there. There is an absence of basic facilities like maternity leave, childcare, and other social security system. Among the organized sector, teaching and medicine attract them the most. Okay, students. Now students, our point is quality of population. Students, quality of population depends on 3 points. First, education, second, medical care, and third, skill. Students, education is our first point. Sakal's education in the initial years of his life gave him fruits like good job and salary. We saw education and as important input for the growth of Sakal. First point, it opened the new horizons for him. Second, education contributed towards the growth of the society. Third, it enhanced the national income also. Students, now we are taking our next topic, steps taken by the government to promote education. Students, now I am taking first step. This is an establishment of new schools like Navodaya Vidyalaya school in each and every district. Bivocational streams has been developed in different type of high schools by occupational training and knowledge. Third, the plan outlay on education has increased rupees 151 crore to rupees 43 crore. In fourth point, students, the government started many primary school system in 5 lakh villages. In number 4 point, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan started by the central government. In this scheme, in 2010, government started up to 6 to 14 years children are getting free of cost education, books and bags, and central government take the help of the state government and local government also. And 6 point, along with the bridge courses and backup to school camps, government had just increased the enrollment of elementary education. In our 7th point, midday meal scheme has been introduced by the government to encourage attendance and retention of children and improve their nutritional level. Students, in our next topic, the government focus on distant education. For information technology students, government modify the curriculum for vocational training and the networking for IT students. And last, students, the growth of number of universities and institutions of higher learning center in specialized areas set up by the government. Students, in number of 6 to 8 points, you now capable to know what were the steps taken by the government to improve our education system in India.